Hey, you guys, it's Dr. Letitia Wright, and this is my video diary video blog. So, I'm live streaming for just a couple of minutes and just a little inside talk. Dr. Letitia Wright, host of the Right Place television show, America's Crowdfunding Strategist. And I wanted to talk to you today about trusting your gut, trusting your gut in business. It's something that I think we really should develop more, and I am going to focus on developing a little bit more. I've developed it and you've developed it too, but we tend to put it aside in favor of listening to our mentors, listening to other people, and listening to what people say in social media, listening to what people tell us in church, in synagogue, in our worship service, what the higher ups, what we think people who are higher up tell us. We tend to stop listening to our voice because we're looking for that information, that business information. We're looking for that guidance, and we tend to stop looking to ourselves because we don't esteem ourselves to have learned enough, to know enough, to put ourselves in a position to guide and pay attention. And so in 2019, it's still only February. I know I'm going to make a dedication to start listening a little bit more to myself. Now, this is not to say that you don't have anything to learn. This is not to say that there are not people that you've put in your life to speak into your life, because I definitely have mentors that I'm going to speak to. But you also need to check in with yourself too. I'm watching a documentary. I just took a break from watching the documentary to make this, and it's so incredibly juicy. It's a documentary about the Fyre Festival. I don't know if you've seen it or heard of the Fyre Festival, but let me just give you the lowdown on the Fyre Festival. So, the Fyre Festival last year was this concert that was supposed to be on an island, and this guy had billed it as this luxury high-end concert for rich kids, basically. You were going to be on an island and all this luxuries and food and partying with this really upscale, you know, groups, and it was going to be magnificent. Fly down on private jets and stay in these bungalows, and it was going to be magnificent. It turned out to be a terrible event. These people paid thousands and thousands of dollars. They got there down there was no place to stay. The tents were just these habitat tents that were made for emergencies. They got rained out. There was no food, there was no water. Kids that got there and then couldn't get to the actual concert were stuck in the airport, like locked into the airport and couldn't get out. They were oversold in terms of places to stay. There were no cars to rent. There were no hotels to stay in. It was terrible. It was a disaster. People didn't get paid. Vendors didn't get paid. People on the island that had been working on it for weeks didn't get paid. It was just crazy. I don't know what the guy was doing with the money, but people were not getting paid all over the place. And it was a disaster. So, all these supermodels, to get people to buy into it, they had all these supermodels post on Instagram, including one of the Jenner girls, post on Instagram about this great place. And so, of course, all the kids are on Instagram, boom, 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 buying tickets, all the kids buying tickets. And, it was terrible. It was a big disaster. Netflix has a great documentary about it. If you want to see it, go watch it on Netflix. I talked about it in my crowdfunding podcast because one of the vendors was a restaurant owner who was supposed to be the caterer, and she got bilked and disseminated because she got, just gypped out of a whole bunch of money. She wound up crowdfunding, and she was able to recoup about $250,000 of her expenses. And so I talked about it on my Get Crowdfunded Now podcast because it's part of crowdfunding. And so that's why I talk about it. But it's just a whole fascinating thing because he had advisors telling him that it was a disaster. Now, maybe the guy's name is Billy. Maybe Billy was delusional. I don't know what his thing was. Maybe he was delusional. Maybe he was just out of his mind, but he just kept going, even though his people were telling him this is not going to work. You have too many people. You're oversold. You don't have enough bathrooms. You don't have enough food. You don't have enough supplies. You don't have enough houses that you sold. You need to cut back. You need to do this. You need to do that. You haven't paid the groups. Groups started backing out because they hadn't gotten paid. So if you don't pay the deposits, the groups aren't going to show up for your shows. People kept telling him to cancel. He wouldn't cancel. He just kept moving forward. Now, the interesting thing is his team members that kept telling him things are not going right and things are going to fall through. And he just kept saying, keep going. Doesn't matter. Keep going. They never, even though they knew in their gut it wasn't going to work, they never said, you know what? You're going down the path. I don't believe it's going to work. I'm out. None of them never stopped and said, I'm pulling out. They just said, okay, and kept going. I thought that was so curious. Here you are on a team, the leader saying, yes, let's go. You know that the cliff is right here. He's telling you to go over a cliff, and you're saying, okay, I'm just going to go over a cliff because somehow he keeps pulling extra money out of his pocket in it. He keeps kind of pulling out these miracles. I still think it's going to go over a cliff, but I'm going to keep going. Like, I don't understand why they knew in their gut it wasn't going to work, but they still kept hanging on. Why didn't they just say, you know what? I resigned from this position. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. This is not going to work. Why didn't they leave? Why did they stay? I understand that they had wages tied up into it. I understand that they were owed money, but they knew it wasn't going to work. Why hang on? Why stay to the end? Why? 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 So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. When you know that in your heart that it's not working, something's wrong, it's going, but other people keep telling you to hang on, keep going, just hold on, it's going to be okay, hang out. But in your gut, it's time to get out. It's time to stop. Whatever it is, marketing, whatever type of thing that you're doing, it's time to get out. You got to follow that heart and follow that gut. So this year in 2019, I'm going to commit to a little more listening to that. And if you're going to commit to a little more of that, or whatever you're going to commit a little bit more to in your business, comment below and let me know what you're going to do. But that's what I'm going to do. Listen to my gut. Listen to my gut. This week, we're working with the kids again this week. We've got some really cool stuff coming up. We got invited to a show, so we're trying to work out how to get them on the show. It's going to be during school hours, so I don't know if we can get a workaround. We'll see what happens with that. But I'm really excited to get them exposure on the show and get them some real exposure to some real opportunities. You guys rock. Thanks, Lewis Reed, for your comment. I really appreciate what you had to say. I gave you a live comment below. Hey, subscribe to the channel. When a new video comes up or something or I post something new, you'll be the first to get it. And I'm trying to grow the channel, so subscribe. Thanks so much. Remember, ignoring one's conscience is neither safe nor right. And I'll see you next time.